in the afternoon. So we'll be okay. There's a waveform up there. You can kind of peek. Maybe she'll get mad if I mention that. I got the statement. Okay, you can watch here. I'll move over one. You see?
Got one here, but it's Well, good evening and welcome. I'm Jason Bradshaw, and on behalf of the Bradshaw family and staff, I want to thank you for being with us tonight. I want to thank you for the courage that it took for you to come out and be part of this service. I know for most of you here, there's been a change in your life over the past year. And the service that we're having tonight has been over a 30-year tradition for us. And it's something that we look forward to every year as a staff, and part of it is to be of support to you during this time. Our goal tonight is hopefully we can have a time of remembrance, reflection, and hopefully some joy. I do want to say we're a little short on programs, and the good news behind that is we had a larger turnout than we even expected. And you know what? That's terrific. So in the spirit of the season, if you could share with your neighbor, that would be terrific. But I do want to say that we are here to be of support to you, and anything that you need through the holiday season or throughout the year for that matter. And our celebrant tonight, or the person conducting the service, is Tony Del Percio. Tony is our grief counselor. He's been on staff with us for over 10 years now. And he is available, and that's just included in what we do. And so if there's anything that you need from our staff or from Tony, just don't hesitate to reach out. So we're here for you. I said in the beginning, on behalf of the Bradshaw family and staff, and on a personal note, I feel very fortunate tonight to have two of our kids, Annika and Ford, that will be handling some of the music, along with Phil. And so that's kind of a treat for us parents. So thanks, guys. At this time, I'd like to kick off our service. And I think we have our first song, which will be a congregational song, so please join in and join along. And guys, take it away.
Echo with the joyous This night, we gather together to remember and to honor those who have died. And even though they are no longer physically present, they continue to live within our hearts. And I truly do believe that they are present with us this night. We take time in this sacred space, in this hallowed place, out of the busyness and the hectic stuff that's going out in the world at the moment. We take time to honor, remember, but more importantly, to express our gratitude for the lives that have been lived, and to be grateful for the gifts that they have given us. We are here to remember those loved ones. At the center of our being is an awareness of an end to a valued relationship. Yes, our hearts ache, tears flow. There is a deep wound because someone so precious, someone who we love so much, is no longer physically present here on this earth. We grieve because of that physical absence, but we also rejoice and to be grateful to know that we have loved and been loved. At this time, Brianna will come forward to read our responsive reading.
To the living, I am gone. To the sorrowful, I am never returned. To the angry, they are cheated. But to the joyful, I am at peace. And to the faithful, I never left. I cannot speak, but I can listen. I cannot be seen, but I can be heard. So you stand upon a shore, gazing at the beautiful sea. Remember me. As you look in awe at a mighty forest and its grand majesty, remember me. As you look upon a flower and admire its simplicity, remember me. Remember me in your heart, your thoughts. Remember the close, loving times we shared. The time we cried, the times we quarreled, the times we laughed. For in these times that you gently remember me, I am not gone.
This is a poem called The Shortest Day by Susan Cooper. And so the shortest day came and the year died. And everywhere down the centuries of the snow-white world came people singing and dancing to drive the dark away. They lighted candles in the winter trees, they hung their homes with evergreen. They burned beseeching fires all night long to keep the year alive. And when the New Year's sunshine blazed awake, they shouted, reveling. Through all the frosty ages, you can hear them echoing behind us. Listen. All the long echoes sing the same delight. This shortest day, as promise wakens in the sleeping land. They carol, feast, give thanks, and dearly love their friends, and hope for peace. And now so do we, here and now, this year and every year. Welcome, Yule.
A death has occurred and everything is changed by this event. Each of us are painfully aware that life will never and can never be the same again. That yesterday is over and that relationships once rich have ended. But there's another way to look upon this truth. If life went on the same without the presence of the one who we remember tonight, the one who you honor, we can only conclude that the life we remember tonight made no difference, made no contribution, filled no space, really meant nothing. The fact that this person, these people we remember tonight, who has left behind a place that cannot ever be filled, is a high tribute to this individual. Life can never be the same after a trinket has been lost, but never after the loss of a treasure. How many of you have gone on vacation? Most of you. And when you do go on vacation, you usually pick up souvenirs. Pens, pencils, smashed pennies. Back in the day, ashtrays. Some of you know what I'm talking about, the smokers in the back. Coffee cups, thimbles, spoons, you name it, we collect it. And then we bring it home and we throw it in a junk drawer. And it sits there until it's time to clean out the junk drawer. It's a trinket. It doesn't really mean a lot. It doesn't have a real significant value. But a treasure is a gift that moves the heart, that affects our whole being of who we are. Imagine opening up a treasure box, and inside we find these gifts, and how those gifts impact our lives, and how those gifts are so sacred and so special that we always hold them within our hearts. Your loved ones were sacred treasures. When you had a child, that was a very unique and special treasure, a unique gift, a unique bond. When you met someone, and you married or you've been in a long-term relationship, there really wasn't much of a treasure in the beginning, was there? Because you really weren't sure if you could find a gift inside. But through time, you developed that gift. You developed that bond and you developed that love, and you saw all the gifts and all the beauty that was inside that individual. And you cherished each other, and you learned the capacity to love and be loved. That's what we grieve for, is the loss of love. The loss of that companionship. That person who gave so much and did so much for us. Our loved ones have really left you 3 gifts. The first gift is their spirit. Stop and think for a minute of your loved one and their spirit, that tenacity. Maybe they were stubborn. Maybe they were a pain in the backside. Maybe they were funny. Maybe they were a jokester, a prankster, had a sense of humor. Maybe they always wore a frown. Maybe they were adventurous, charismatic, outgoing, loving, tenacious, exuberant, whatever it was. But they had a spirit, they had a drive that just really was infectious, that really held you close to them. That spirit lives on within you. The second gift they gave you is the gift and the capacity to love. Is it not better to know that I can love and been loved than never to have loved at all? The gift of love, that conditional or unconditional love at times, that able to forgive and to let go and to accept and to hold, that love will always connect you to them and will always hold you near. And the third gift they gave you, which is probably the most important gift that really connect us between us and them, are memories. Memories are so important. One reason why the holidays are so difficult and so painful is because we are reminded of past holidays and all those memories of what life used to be like and how it was back in the day. And then as life changes and things happen, it's not like what it used to be. It's so different now. But go back to your childhood, some of you, and you can remember what I'm talking about. When you woke up and maybe you saw your favorite gift and how you were in awe, or how you were expecting a certain gift and did not get it. You know what I'm talking about. And then, of course, somebody might say, well, you weren't very good this year, so maybe Santa will give it to you next year. Gift of memories. Or when I was a child, my grandparents would bring in this huge tree for a 12-foot house. And it's like, how are we going to fit this in here? And then put all that tinsel on. And then all the baking and all the things that we did. Those are memories. Those are the memories that we hold and cherish. And no one can ever take those memories away. And that's why it's important this Christmas, when we gather, to share memories, to share stories. Not to pretend there's an elephant in the room, but to acknowledge the elephant in the room. To mention their name, to talk about them, and to share those stories. And maybe even reminisce about the days gone by when Grandpa had too much eggnog, or Grandma burnt the roast, or forgot to turn on the oven. Some of you remember some of those fun little stories that when we think about them, brings us laughter and some humor. Christmas is about a time to be together. Michael read about the shortest day. In a few days, under the Julian calendar, we celebrate the Winter Solstice, which is the darkest day of the year. So, look on the bright side. We only have 2 more days of darkness, and it's slowly going to start getting lighter. So look at the bright side. It might only be 10 seconds each day, but it will start getting lighter after the 21st. But think about that for a minute. Why we do what we do. And this was even way before Christianity. They lit candles to brighten the darkest night. They brought food and created festivities and created communities to share so that people did not feel so alone in the midst of darkness and being alone. They brought trees in, evergreen, everlasting life. So some of you may feel, well, I don't want to decorate. Think about the true meaning of what those 3 things are. Light, hope, food, comfort, greens, evergreen, everlasting life. It's not about Santa Claus. It's not about all these gifts. It's something that happened way, way back even before Christianity, what we did and what we gave. So this Christmas, don't worry about giving gifts. You don't need to give gifts. Just give a Franklin. That's all they want. Or a Benjamin. Or what else is there? Just give them $1. That's all. But you know what really would be the greatest gift you could give someone? Because I know many of you are sitting here wondering and thinking, little did we know that last Christmas would be our last Christmas with them. We don't know what next Christmas is going to be. We just have this Christmas right now. So instead of looking back at what if, could have, would have, should have, and withdrawing and isolating from the world, go buy some cards or get a notepad and write letters to those who are closest to you, who you love, and write them a love letter, letting them know how much they mean to you and how much you appreciate their gifts. Now, they may open it up and ask if you're sick or if you're dying. But just think what a cherished gift that would be, a personal letter between you and a child, or between a significant other and another, or between siblings, something unique and special that says, this has been a difficult year for us, but I need you to know, because maybe I've never said this to you, but I love you more than anything in this world as my brother or sister, or as my significant other, or as my child. You have an opportunity to take something out of darkness and create light. Don't worry about cooking. White Castles is open, not the one here anymore, but there are White Castles if you want, just make something simple. Or buy pizzas. Don't put additional stress on yourselves. Take time to rest. Just take time to be. Just take time for yourself and to learn to express gratitude. That is what we need to focus on this night, is being grateful for the lives that have been lived and the contributions not only they made in this world, but the contributions they made in your own lives and how they made your lives richer and better for who you are and who all of us are on this journey. And always remembering one thing, what the true meaning of Christmas is all about. It's about a birth of a little baby. Because that birth of that little child would grow up and one day, unfortunately, be crucified, so that one day we can all have that ultimate Christmas in heaven.
King, come
Candles symbolize light and hope. In the center is one candle lit. In a moment, we will light all our candles to symbolize and to represent those whom are no longer physically present, but their spirit lives on within us. A century and a half ago, Henry Ward Beecher spoke of all of us when he said, "What the heart has once owned and had, it shall never lose." This evening we pay homage and remember those whom our hearts have owned and had, and whom we know we will never ever lose. Let us remember those who have been a light to us, memorializing our relationships in a ceremony of candlelight and love.
We light a candle in memory of those who have handed us the gift of life itself. We honor those who gave us birth and nurtured us, those who endowed us with heritage and raised us, those who offered us love and cherished us. We remember mothers and fathers, grandparents and great-grandparents, and all our ancestors through the ages. We remember also those who were as mother or father to us, loving us by choice rather than by chance.
We light a candle in memory of those who have been linked with us in the ongoing chain of family life. We honor those who have shared our heredity and who have experienced our common bonds. We remember sisters and brothers, aunts and uncles, relatives near and distant throughout time.
We light a candle in memory of those to whom we ourselves have passed on the precious gift of life. We hold dear to our hearts those we have held dear in our arms and in our dreams. We remember children who have gone before us, and grandchildren and great-grandchildren. We remember both those who live within the womb and those who dance upon the earth.
We light a candle in memory of those whom we discovered through the eyes of love in our journey through life. We hold sacred the remembrances of those who brightened our days with affection and who lit up our lives with devotion. We remember wives and husbands, dearest lovers and closest friends, those who opened us to ourselves and to life even as we opened ourselves to them and now to eternity.
We leave the final candle unlit, aware of the fact that others will join our ranks to come, that they do so even now as we gather and speak. They will stand where we now stand and feel what we now feel, our hearts reach out to them. We remember also that the time will come when we ourselves will pass through the barrier separating one from another. We know that as we remember today, we will be remembered tomorrow. This time, the Bradshaw staff will be going forward to light your individual candles, and then we ask if you would please pass the flame to the next. Will sing the first verse of Silent Night. We ask that you then join in the second two verses, and at the completion of the two verses, then we will hum the first verse.
Is
please respond. We remember them to the following phrases. At the rising of the sun and its going down, at the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, in the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, at the blueness of the skies and the warmth of summer, at the rustling of the leaves and the beauty of autumn, at the beginning of the year and when it ends, when we are lost and sick at heart, when we have joys we yearn and want to share. As long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us. As we remember them. I'd like you to take a moment in silence and focus on the candle. You are all companions on a journey. You all share something in common. But look at the candle for a moment. Notice the flame, the light, ever flickering, ever changing, ever moving. A spirit that glows bright. And as you look at the candle, I now ask that you please close your eyes. And imagine for a moment you can picture your loved one. What wish would you send them? What gratitude do you share or express? That flame will always burn bright in your heart until your final breath. Let us be grateful for their lives. May they always enkindle in us and each other those gifts of spirit, love, and memories. I ask you now to slowly extinguish your candle, and as that smoke from the candle rises, it connects us between here and with them. At this time, Margaret will be coming forward, the administrative assistant, to remember those individuals who have died. We ask that when your loved one's name is mentioned, that you please stand so that we can present you with the ornament. There are also people who are watching us this night live stream, so we want to make sure that those who are present here receive their ornament, and Annika and Ford will help bring you the ornament.
We remember Randy Aldrich. We remember Connie Benson.
We remember Catherine Burke Moore. We remember Jesse Chapman. We remember Alan Chinnock. We remember Thomas Cole. We remember Ricky Crawford. We remember Robert Dunn. We remember Catherine Ballenzer. We remember Marion Glassbrenner. We remember Paul Glazer. We remember Mary Glaus. We remember Harvey Gruno. We remember Lucius Hamilton. We remember Matthew Hammerschmidt. We remember Catherine Hansen. We remember Judith Haraldson. We remember Derek Hausner. We remember Barbara Johnson. We remember Harriet Johnson. We remember Rudy Johnson. We remember Joel Kiefer. We remember Craig King. We remember Robert Colvin. We remember Wayne Lashinger. We remember David Lido. We remember Craig Leiser. We remember Thomas Linneruth. We remember Gerald Lipovitz. We remember Kevin McMonigal. We remember Kent Mills. We remember Dorothy Murray. We remember James Neal. We remember Jeanette Nelson. We remember Carmen Neidiger. We remember Charles Olson. We remember Elaine Olson. We remember Lorna Parker. We remember Katie Pfister. We remember Krista Pierce. We remember Anthony Reeves. We remember Barbara Jean Sather. We remember Donald Savage. We remember Thomas Savage. We remember Karna Schaefer. We remember Edwin Schmidt. We remember Clara Slavey. We remember John Stearns. We remember Charles Swan. We remember Mary Taylor. We remember Carol Teasdale. We remember Debbie Thorson. We remember Barbara Ulmer. We remember Santa Claus, Stephen Van Hale. We remember Margaret Van Ort. We remember Florence Volker. We remember Hugh Ward. We remember Carol Winslow. We remember Audrey Wittig. We remember Ronald Zanussi.
Let us also take a moment to remember our men and women who served our country, who sacrificed their lives. Let us also take a moment to remember those who have no one to remember them. If you are to take the ornament home, and there's a little card on it, write a little note or a little message on the card, and then place the card with the ornament on the tree as a way each year to remember them. And each year when you take it out, it is a treasure with a special little message that you will know and others down the road will also know that they were loved, cared, and remembered this night. I'm going to read to you a Buddhist parable, but I'm going to change it just a tinge. There was a grieving person who came to see a grief counselor who was having a very difficult time coping with a death, and had asked for a solution. The grief counselor instructed the grieving person to put a handful of salt into a glass of water and to drink it. "How does it taste?" the counselor asked. Terrible, spat the apprentice. The counselor chuckled and laughed, and then asked the person to take another handful of salt and put it in a lake. The two walked in silence to the nearby lake, and the person swirled their handful of salt into the lake. The counselor said, "Now drink from the lake." As the person tasted the water, the counselor asked, "How does it taste?" This time, to their surprise, the water tasted good. "Do you taste the salt?" asked the counselor. "No," said the person. The counselor sat beside the grieving person, took their hand, and said, "The pain of life is pure salt, no more, no less. The amount of pain in life remains the same, exactly the same. But the amount of pain we taste depends on the container we put it into. So when you are in pain, the only thing you can do is to enlarge your sense of things. Stop being a glass and become a lake." Instead of saying, "I'm fine, everything's okay, I don't want to talk about it," or isolate, you will drink pure salt. When you share and open up and express and communicate, you find that everyone is affected, not just you, but everyone. And you begin to share and talk and reminisce. So become a lake. Don't be a glass of salt. Once again, thank you all for being here this night, to take time out of your schedule. There will be coffee and cookies and cider in the community room, so please join us. You are welcome to keep the candle, by the way. So if you want, you can even just put it in a little vase or something, or a little dirt, and light it on Christmas Eve, or you can put it in the drawer as a memento, or use it if there's a power outage. And you can think of your loved one giving light to you. But please, if you'd like, keep the candle. I also want to thank Phil for playing and being with us. And if you're wondering who the young people are, I would love to claim them as my children, but they're not. These are Jason Bradshaw's and Bree Bradshaw's children. So Annika, Ford, and Martin. So thank you for singing. I really appreciate it. I just remember now, you've seen them now here, because who knows how far they will go and how much it may cost to see them down the road when they're traveling the world. You will not always hurt like this. These words are true. If they do not reach your heart today, do not reject them, but keep them in your mind. One morning, not tomorrow perhaps, but the day after, or the month after the next. One morning, the dawn will wake you with a renewed spirit. Your grief will dissipate. One small moment of its force. Be ready for the time when you feel yourself that these words are true, that you will never hurt again. When friends and family gather and may not understand or try to convey that they know what would be good for you, gently explain to them that the best gift they can give you this season is very simple. It's called the 3 H's. Let them hang around for a little while. Next, tell them you need a hug. Don't ever assume, by the way, someone knows you need a hug. Ask. And the last H is to hush. In other words, tell them to be quiet and to listen. Some of you know what I'm talking about. And somewhere within those grieving days and silent nights, may you find some grace and a moment of joy that helps you along the way. Go in peace. Be kind to yourself. Be watchful as you continue this journey with various asks and obstacles. Be grateful this night and each night for those treasures, those gifts that your loved one has left you and truly has made this world richer and better because they truly have lived. Let us now conclude with our closing song.